My friends, how are y'all doing out there today? Good to see you for yet another video, I suppose, because we've got more absolute insanity going on in the White House. So I am going to tell you guys something today truly shocking, okay? So before I tell you, I want you to make sure you're sitting down. I want you to make sure you're not operating a vehicle or any kind of heavy equipment, because what I'm about to tell you is going to absolutely blow your mind. All right, are you ready for this? Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, is manipulating the stock market, my friends. Are you guys shocked? Are you absolutely blown away right now? Well, no, probably not, because it turns out the President of the United States is a criminal and is breaking the law on a daily basis. So yeah, not near as shocking as we thought it was going to be, is it? I miss the days where tan suits were a real big scandal, my friends. Remember that? Remember that Obama wore a tan suit? I was working in a cubicle then. I wasn't even a trucker yet. And I had to listen to some guy bitch about it for 6 months about how he couldn't believe the disrespect. I bet you that guy now, I bet you he's got a stupid fucking red hat strapped on his head and is hanging on every word that Donald Trump is saying. So we have got Donald Trump fucking with the stock market yet again. It's a little more interesting than usual, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I'm a little bit pissed off today because I was going to cover Donald Trump's little bribery dinner last night having to do with his meme coin, where, 200 of the biggest donors to Donald Trump's meme coin showed up to have dinner with him. And Donald Trump has enriched himself by billions of dollars off of this meme coin. And I was going to make fun of the fact that we didn't see any motherfucker from my trailer park out there joining Donald Trump at the dinner, because that guy definitely would have been promoting it all over his social media. We didn't get to see much of anyone who was at Donald Trump's billionaire dinner because, well, they're all billionaires. And a lot of them, according to the experts on these things, if you look at the blockchain and all the shit that I don't fucking understand, the vast majority of them are foreign donors. So foreigners, those dadgum foreigners, are buying access to the President of the United States. And I was going to cover that today, and I was going to make fun of that for as long as I could. And then Donald Trump went and did some more bullshit. And look, Donald, throw me a fucking bone here. I'm one man. I work 70 hours a week driving this goddamn truck. I try to get out one video a day on your corruption and all the crimes that you're breaking and how you're fucking the American people, especially the working class. And then you go off and you get a few scandals every day. Donald, let's make a deal here, okay? Can we just get maybe one scandal per day? Maybe slow it down a little bit so I can keep up with all your bullshit. You're running me ragged out here, my friend. He's not my friend. I don't like that son of a bitch. I'm just used to saying my friend. But my God, he just keeps going with all the bullshit over and over. So, what we have today is another form of Liberation Day, where Donald Trump woke up obviously in a very grumpy mood. It's rough being a spoiled brat rich kid that grew up with everything handed to you, your dad's money so you could dodge the draft, and a team of lawyers to keep you out of trouble every time you break the fucking law, and then you get to be President of the United States twice, even once after inciting an insurrection. I would wake up pissed off too, my friends. That sounds like a rough fucking life. So Donald Trump today wakes up just irritated because who knows what, and decides he's going to slap 50% tariffs on the European Union. I don't fucking know, my friends. I don't know what this asshole is up to, because we just had the temporary pause having to do more with China, I think, on the tariffs that were 145%. And don't let the language fool you. There was no pause on the tariffs. They just lowered them to a insane, ridiculously high amount of 30%. So all Americans got slapped with a 30% tax on all everything coming from China. What a fucking deal. I'm so sick of winning, my friends. He was right. I was going to get so fucking tired of winning. And I am. 30% extra. Hell yeah. What a great fucking deal. The art of the deal, one might say. And actually, on that note, it kind of was. And I don't like to admit that necessarily. Because part of the book, The Art of the Deal, is asking for or doing something completely fucking insane so that when you get to what you really want, it doesn't seem as crazy anymore. more. And that may not be verbatim, but when we were going, oh fuck, 145% tariffs, we're fucked, then 30% tariffs sounded like a good deal to a lot of people. And a lot of people thought that we actually won a trade war where we lost. Tragically lost. We got our asses kicked on that. 30% is not a good fucking deal. Compared to 145%, it still sounds really fucking bad when you start looking into the supply chain and how freight's going to slow down at 30%, but it sounds like one hell of a deal over 145%, right? But anyways, there's no actual pause. We're just paying 30%. It's fucking goofy, my friends. Anyways, like I was saying, he slaps 50% fucking tariffs on the European Union. I don't really know why. He didn't say what he wants, none of those things whatsoever. But here's the interesting twist, I guess, to everything that's going on, because normally he's slapping tariffs on entire countries, and today he's specifically targeting a company. Now, we've seen him do a little bit of work with companies, you know, when he turned the White House lawn into a used car dealership for fucking Teslas. You remember that? Kind of hyped up Tesla's stocks for a little bit. You know, I still hope for the complete fucking downfall of Tesla stocks, but hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, my friends. And he was clearly trying to pay back Elon Musk all the money Elon gave him so that Elon could help win the election and think that he could be the co-president. And it's kind of humorous that that's not really working out now. I find it kind of funny, and I'm waiting for the explosion, the huge fallout that comes from these two massive egos colliding, because you can tell Elon Musk just looks like a broken man right now. Don't worry, I'm getting to the interesting part. I just get fucking sidetracked, all right? Elon Musk just looks absolutely destroyed, and good, fuck him. He thought it was funny when he was doing it to poor working class people. Hard to find any sympathy, Elon Musk. Anyways, the interesting twist on it is that Donald Trump also decided to throw, I believe it was a 25% tariff on Apple specifically. And my friends, I gotta tell you, if I was Tim Apple, I would be fucking livid right now. After all that ass kissing you did to Donald Trump, going to all those meetings, I don't know for sure, but good likelihood that Tim Apple, I know it's Tim Cook, but just roll with it. Tim Apple, it probably was a donor because all these billionaire tech bros thought they were gonna get a free ride under Donald Trump, and how soon they are finding out that that's not working out for them. I mean, these motherfuckers are losing money hand over fist, still more money than we got, my friend. Don't worry, they're not bankrupt enough yet. But anyways, Donald Trump throws these 25% tariffs on Apple, and the stock market is down, but really the stock market got liberated after the passage of the big beautiful bill in Congress. That's when it really took the brunt of it. So the market's not down as much as I expected today, but it's still a pretty substantial hit, somewhere around 300 points ish down at the time of recording this. And a thing I'm keeping an eye on is specifically the Apple stock. Because he is very specifically targeting one company now. And I gotta think, just sort of knee-jerk reaction to it, I think it's how would I say this? Just a specific stock manipulation on purpose. He's purposely trying to drive down the cost of Apple, and it's because Donald Trump can get away with anything. We've seen him get away with this corruption over and over. This is the same guy that had enriched himself through a meme coin by billions of dollars 2 days before taking the White House, before starting his presidency, you know, that guy. And he has tanked the market repeatedly over and over. The last time he did it, he even in one of his press conferences said now is a good time to buy stocks, and within 2 days had rolled us back to the 30% tariffs. And we could tell that that is intentionally manipulating the stock market when he's doing bullshit like that, right? So why would, after all this time of, Tim Cook kissing his ass, and all these things, Donald Trump wake up and specifically target Apple? It seems like it's on purpose, is what I'm saying. Now, it hasn't dropped enough to justify, like, me paying any kind of money for it. I am keeping an eye on it because look, We know what's going to happen, and this is not financial advice by any means. We know what's going to happen here, all right? Donald Trump's going to keep these tariffs up through the weekend. The market is closed on Monday, so we have all the potential in the world for Tuesday to skyrocket. That means anybody that's buying Apple right now stands to make some money. Now, I don't have that kind of money. I stand to maybe profit $100, $200 off of this thing if I were to get into it. So once again, it's catering to very rich people that are going to be able to buy that fucking stock. And that's kind of the reason that I am happy today that I will be releasing this video right as the stock market closes, so nobody can blame me for shit. I didn't say buy the fucking thing. I'm saying what is going to happen is Tuesday at the earliest, sometime next week, Donald Trump's going to backpedal on these tariffs for Apple, and the stock will be restored at least to whatever price that it was. It's a rich man's game though, because I don't have the kind of money to buy, 30,000, even 10,000, even 1,000 Apple stocks. I could buy about 5 if I really wanted to push the limits with that. I could get maybe 5 of those fucking things. So once again, it's a game for the rich people, like as always, right? But when it comes to Apple, this is the part that pisses me off, that I wish fucking MAGA would stop fucking falling for. This is not a good thing, okay? It doesn't do what Donald Trump said it's going to do. Why do I have to keep repeating this? Why do we have to keep fucking going over this? It's not going to force Apple to manufacture in America. That doesn't make a fucking bit of sense. It is way too expensive to manufacture in America. The estimates I heard on the outlets that I was watching today, for Apple to bring manufacturing back to America, it's a 5 to 10 year process. That's just from the people I was watching. I don't fucking know. And on top of that, these tariffs drive the cost of an iPhone up to roughly $3,500. $3,500. Wait, maybe it's not the tariff. Let me rephrase that. The cost if you were to manufacture an iPhone in America would make the iPhone cost $3,500. So it is still less with the tariff. So what does Donald Trump do at this point? Does he drive a tariff up on Apple to the point that it would make sense to from the price point to manufacture in America? That's a huge fucking tariff. Massive, and we're still at that 5 to 10 year fucking timeline. This is not a win, and I'm not an Apple user. I haven't had an Apple product since my Apple IIe that I played on years ago. I don't even think I had the Oregon Trail. I played some weird indie games that I think, like, my family that gave us the Apple II computer, I think they programmed them themselves. I don't know. We had some weird shit though. But I haven't, so I'm not like a shill for Apple is the point I'm trying to fucking make. This is overall a loss. Once again, a net loss, except for a very, very select group. The people today that are able to buy Apple stocks in bulk, mark my fucking words on this, will cash in very handsomely on Donald Trump price fixing the Apple. I don't know if price fixing is the right word, but you get the point. Manipulating, damn it, manipulating the price of Apple stocks today, because within a week or two, those tariffs will be removed, and some rich people that are already rich will have profited very, very handsomely. And this is the America we live in, my friends. No, we're not bitching about tan suits anymore. We're not even worried about a president getting oral sex in the Oval Office. Look, that at least isn't fucking crashing the economy and bankrupting fucking poor people and taking away the fucking medical coverage of poor people and giving massive tax breaks to the rich. I'd rather have that back. Wouldn't you? Of course we would. There's no way around that. But anyways, I made a few predictions in this video. I think that I'm going to be right about them. Like I said, I'm glad that this video will be coming out right around the time that the stock market closes, so nobody can blame me and say that I said buy Apple. All I'm doing is following the pattern of Donald Trump and the complete bullshit that he continues to do, and that is exactly what is going to happen in this scenario also. Anyways, I got to get back to work, but first I am on the hunt for these fat-ass breakfast burritos that they sell at this truck stop, and I need one of those in my life because it's one of the few pleasures I have left after Donald Trump gets done fucking around with my paycheck. Got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.